Now, shifting focus to some other story that we are tracking very closely here at Mirror Now is where the Indian-American US presidential candidate Nikki Haley has pledged to cut every cent in foreign aid to countries like China, Pakistan and Iraq if voted to power. The statement came after she earlier claimed that America spent $46 billion on foreign aid last year, which is given to countries like China, Pakistan and Iraq. The 51-year-old Republican candidate said a proud America doesn't waste people's hard-earned money and a strong America doesn't pay off the bad guys. That's a very strong posturing by Nikki Haley. And joining me right now is our guest, Rabinder Sachdev, to discuss this further. Mr. Sachdev, appreciate you joining us here. Mr. Sachdev, you are a foreign affairs expert. And so I'm going to be reading and quoting exactly Nikki Haley has said, and then I'm going to seek your first reactions on what she said. She said that I will cut every cent in foreign aid for countries that hate us. She also says that a strong America doesn't pay off the bad guys. A proud America doesn't waste our people's hard-earned money. And the only leaders who deserve our trust are those who stand up to our enemies and stand beside our friends. Mr. Sachdev, you have been seeing the world affairs for a while now. What was your first reaction when you hear Nikki Haley making such a strong posturing?
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be with you. I'll go to the exact word which you're using. It is posturing, pure and simple posturing. Okay, on the one hand, it's good for us because what it does, it reminds other presidential candidates also to take a hardline stance on this particular topic that she's saying that our aid, American aid, should be carefully calibrated and we should not keep funding Pakistan specifically, right? But I'll say it's pure, simple posturing because US has not been funding Pakistan anyway, even in military. What she said that Biden administration is doing it. Biden administration has not militarily wise funded Pakistan. They funded Pakistan last year to the tune of about $100 million for the floods. And in January 9 in the Geneva meetings, where others also committed another 100. So that means $200 million approximately for the floods, but no single penny of military funding to Pakistan has gone. It is posturing, one. Second, even if you look practically at American foreign policy, going by this logic, till 2014, Ukraine was under a pro-Russian leadership, right? So by that logic, before 2014, America should not have been funding anything in Ukraine. When American foreign policy funds in foreign countries, it funds countries which are friendly. It also funds countries where the regimes are not friendly, but where America wants to bring a regime change or a propaganda change. So when she says that this all $46 billion, I'll bring it to zero, it is plain simple posturing. That's what I feel. But yes, from India's perspective, with respect to Pakistan, it is something good because what it means is that other presidential candidates would also take notice. In any case, in the US now, there's a bipartisan understanding about the role of Pakistan. So Pakistan is not getting any military money unless a 9/11 kind of a thing again happens and for which again America needs Afghanistan, access to Afghanistan. Then again, American money will flow into Pakistan, military money, right? Otherwise, no military money is going into Pakistan. So it's a good reminder. It's political posturing. And not only with respect to Pakistan, even globally, Philippines, Zimbabwe, she has mentioned. Now, Zimbabwe definitely is in China's pocket, as she says, but America tries to pull away Zimbabwe towards itself away from China's pocket. How it does that? Partially it does that by funding programs, be it development programs, spreading democracy kind of programs, etc. America, ever since, say the Second World War, especially, they had that Harry Truman Point 4 program, which became the USAID. The objective of the USAID is to spread American democracy. So they cannot put, strike off this from their sheets. So it's political posturing, but it's good.
Well, Mr. Sachdev, of course, this is going to have an impact on world politics at large, like you were mentioning, whether it's Zimbabwe or, for that matter, when she is mentioning China and any other such nation that is not standing in unison with US is concerned. But is this also, in a way, like there are reactions that we were just reading out, was that is this also a bit to try and woo Indian voters because she is trying to talk and take a hard line about Pakistan? What impact would it have in India's ties with US if at all this is going to be the policy ahead?
Great point. Definitely, yes. She is trying to, reach out or, to reach out. I mean, she's the Indian American community, and the Indian American community has the votes, and Indian American community is also being above median income folks. They are good in contributions in political campaigns. Our committee, of which I'm a co-founder, we also raise and contribute legal money. So we will also be raising and helping her campaign a little bit, whatever we can. So this is a good strategy on her part to, for the Indian American community, that's one. Secondly, it's her positioning overall in the presidential campaign. Yes. See, she's the first one who's officially said, other than Trump, okay, that I am in the race. So she's trying to carve out a position for herself as a hardline leader. She is repeatedly mentioning about her experience at the UN as America's ambassador to the UN, right? That she knows global geopolitics. She's pretty well versed with it. She says that, when I kick, but I wear heels, so my kick hits hard, right? So that's the persona positioning she is creating for herself as a hard leader, strong leader for America. Going ahead, whether she ends up getting the Republican nomination and winning the presidency is an altogether very different matter. What it means for India overall, as I'm saying, that this, this discourse or this narrative that she's triggered, that Pakistan should not be, or countries like Pakistan, America should not be wasting our taxpayer money. This would resonate with India. In fact, that's what we as an Indian American group also talk about. Any money which goes to America is American taxpayer money. Sorry, to Pakistan, why should that go? So that will help that momentum. But if she assumes wins the candidacy and then goes and beats the Democrat combination, whatever is, it will not make much of a difference in India. With India, what happens with Indian origin leaders? They carry a double burden. Folks like even a Rishi Sunak. So if you are of Indian origin, your political opponents look upon you with an additional doubt, and they have another, argument with them if they see your policy with India. So you cannot be not only soft, you cannot be seen to be soft towards India. You cannot be. In fact, you'll be doubly rigorous to make sure that you're not leaving any opening for your political opponents, because politics is the same anyway. So being an Indian origin leader is excellent for India's image, excellent for the idea that Indian diaspora is doing very well, excellent for many other aspects and the soft power of India. But it is not necessarily good for direct benefit of India, because these leaders have to be extra double cautious when dealing with India or making any agreements. Like if Rishi Sunak is to negotiate the FTA with India, which UK is doing, you can be sure that they would be imposing tougher conditions than if a Boris Johnson or someone else was in power negotiating the FTA, because Sunak would have to protect himself. So it does help. It does inspire. The other thing it does, absolutely, it inspires more and more folks in the diaspora, especially the younger generation, to get into public service, especially women also, to see that, your color doesn't matter in a country like America. And you have Kamala Harris, who's already the vice president, right? And Nikki Haley, another one running for president. What will be very, very interesting is supposing Biden goes for re-election with Kamala Harris, and
well, absolutely, Mr. Sachdev, you were making a lot of pertinent points over there, that a lot of fuss is what we can expect with Nikki Haley, and she's making it absolutely clear in no better terms that the US adversaries will have no right over the American dollar. Appreciate you joining us here, Rubinder Sachdev, and getting us your views on this subject that we were discussing here.
Thank you.